What is up, gamers? This is Proto, and welcome back to another episode of Like or Dislike, where we look at some of the latest games that come out. I give you some backstory about the game, its mechanics, and tell you what I think about it after putting some time into it, and doing pros and cons at the end to help you decide if you want to get the game or not. So today, we are looking at Aliens Fireteam Elite. Now, this is a third-person shooter survival game with some light RPG mechanics mixed in to make it a challenging but overall a very fun game. Now, story-wise, you play as a Marine that's part of a group sent on a rescue mission because of a Xeno outbreak, but you find out there's way more going on than what it seems. Now, you play in teams of 3, choosing from different classes that really depend on your playstyle. You have a medic class, you have a gunner class, which is like your overall shooter class. You got your heavy class, which uses heavy based weapons. You got your technician, and they really work well together. Certain weapons can only be used with certain classes, so you have to keep that in mind. So that does make it challenging and makes you wonder which class you want to go with. Now, the classes have their own special abilities that work well together with the other classes of your teammates. And if you want to play solo, you'll be sent out with 2 robots, but they don't have any classes. So it's encouraged for you to play with other players. And I think that's kind of interesting. Like, if you don't have nobody to play, you can just play with robots as your teammates, but they don't have any, they choose no classes for them. So to me, I think it's highly encouraged that you actually try to play with other people, because the other classes definitely come in handy. If you have a medic on your team, they can put out health stations while y'all fighting Xenos or boost you guys back up. And I think it comes in really handy. Now, as you progress through the story, you will unlock new weapons, attachments, decals, earn credits, and reps to unlock more items. And you get a new class when you complete the storyline. So you have an incentive to go through the whole storyline. Now, RPG side, it falls in with stats with upgrading your weapons, improving your character, with upgrading his or her abilities. And with the weapons, like you said, when you do different attachments, you got different stats. Some give you better accuracy, some give you better weak point damage, some let you reload faster. So it makes you wonder, like, what attachments do you really want to go with, which all goes to your playstyle. And which leveling up your character, as you level up each class, you'll open up a tree system where you can mix and match different abilities based on your playstyle, so you can perform better. Now, story-wise, you have 4 chapters with 3 sub-chapters complete in each one. And you have a variety of missions where you have to protect certain objects, kill xenomorphs, and even escort people to safety. So they give you a mix of all. And pretty much when you're going through the missions, you might have some positions where you have to do a standoff and hold off against them while you're fixing something or trying to extract information and moving forward. Some you just gotta hold off until you can get reinforcements. So I think they make it very challenging and interesting. Now, it took me roughly about 8 hours to complete the story, but you have a lot of good replay value with going through with different classes, ranking up each one, which unlocks more abilities that you can use for those classes. You have more intense difficulties, which will definitely make it more challenging. You have a lot of cosmetics that you can unlock by grinding, by just going through the missions. And you have mod challenges where your team can choose a different type of mod that you can challenge in the challenge while you're playing through the mission, and you'll get rewards for it, along with the usual daily and weekly challenges for completing certain things. So they give you an incentive to, once you complete the story, to keep on playing through again or just playing through levels. So I think that was pretty good. Now, after completing the story, you can fight wave after wave with the horde mode, and that's basically what it is. You just keep fighting wave after wave till you die, and that definitely lets you test out new abilities, test out weapons, see what you like, see what you don't like. Now, gameplay wise, it was pretty smooth. I didn't have any major issues. I only had 1 crash, but I don't think to me it wasn't that major of an issue because it only popped up once. Game lagged a little bit here and there, but it wasn't so much that it's just like it was unplayable. The jump scares with the aliens were amazing to me. Like, you could just be running and they'll pop up from above you, coming through ventilations and attack you. They'll be waiting in corridors and they'll leap onto you, and you gotta try to fight them off. You even gotta deal with facehuggers trying to get onto you. And sometimes these are QT moments, but when it happens, it completely catches you off guard. And I love that because it gives you that aliens vibe feeling. Otherwise, the only other thing, I didn't like was when you're talking to the other NPCs, there's no lip sync. They're just standing there moving their head, blinking their eyes, but their lips are not moving. The voice acting was okay. To me, it was subpar. It was decent, but it's like, you know, you could at least had their mouths moving while they're talking. So I think that kind of broke the immersion from it. But otherwise, I thought the game looked very well. I thought it performed very well. And as you guys see, all this gameplay is being captured off of PC. So that being said, let's jump into the pros versus the cons. And starting off with the pros, the first we're going to look at is the combat. Overall, the combat in this game is fun. You definitely feel like you are fighting to survive, fighting against different types of aliens, from aliens that we've seen in the series before to new ones that they put in there, and it definitely feels like a fight for your life. So definitely kudos on that. Definitely gave the aliens feeling, in my opinion. The next pro we're gonna give is the jump scares. No matter how many times the jump scares happen, to me they never felt stale because you never knew when they was gonna happen. They would just boom, and they definitely try to psych you out, because sometimes when they would pop out from the ceiling to a ventilation, sometimes they wouldn't do it. The thing would just pop off and nothing would happen, and like literally me and my whole team will stop and aim up thinking something's coming out, and they don't. So the jump scares work very well. They definitely kept you like paranoid to a sense. And the last pro we're gonna look at is the weapons and gear. I think they did very good with giving you a good variety of weapons. They all perform very differently, and adding the attachments made a big difference for certain weapons. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I am a big Aliens fan, so I did play through most of the campaign using the pulse rifle because it just felt kind of weird not killing aliens without a pulse rifle. But the other weapons did perform very well. The other shotguns, the other rifles, sniper rifles, they all perform very well. So you'll find a weapon that you like in there, even if you don't want to use the pulse rifle. And if you want to use it, trust me, it performs very well. So with the pros done, let's take a look at the cons. Starting off with the cons, the first we got is host issues. Now this happened kind of, I ain't gonna say frequently. It happened frequently through my first playthrough of the game. It's like as soon as the host left, the game was over. You went right back to the hub. And to me, I think that was kind of dumb. Like, why can't you just migrate the host? Like with other games, if the host leaves, the game may stop for a minute and they migrate to somebody else. Don't just stop it for everybody because the host decides they don't want to play anymore. I thought that was a little nerve-wracking. The next con we're going to look at, and I mentioned this earlier, was the lip sync. Like I said, I think it's kind of messed up. The voice acting, like I said, it wasn't extravagant. It was good. It was pretty decent. I like how they gave each NPC their own voice, their own style of talking. It just would have made the immersion better if their mouths are actually moving while they was talking. So I wish that was something that they would have fixed on. And the last con we're going to look at is the game is relatively short. Like I said, it took about 8 hours. Most third-person shooter games usually try to last anywhere from the base game being 15, maybe 20 hours for your gameplay. But to trade off, you didn't pay full price for the game, so you only paid $40. So it's not too bad, but you know, if you want something that you want to put hours and hours into it, you have the grinding aspect. But if you want like a long, intense story, won't expect it in this. So keep that in mind if you're looking at it for money-wise. And that's pretty much the pros and cons of the game. Overall, I'm really enjoying it. It's a game I definitely can see myself hopping into, grinding, playing for a couple hours throughout the week. I like how the aliens attack you. I thought the story was okay. I think there was kind of a couple of little loopholes in there. But overall, I think it was very entertaining and very good. But let me know how you guys feel below. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you guys got the game, let me know how you feel in the comments below. Hit that like button, all that goodness. You guys know what to do. And if you aren't already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I talk about stuff going on in the gaming and tech world. I do reviews on some of the latest gaming tech that's out. I do top 10 new games coming out every month and so much more. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and my other social media pages if you want to keep up to date with what's going on, or if you want to reach out to me. I love talking about gaming, so don't be afraid to hit me up. You can catch me streaming on Twitch. I play indie, PC, console, VR games. I stream usually every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So I'm always playing different games. So if you want to just hop in, watch a unique game, and chat up with me, you guys are more than welcome to. But this is Proto, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.